right, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of the NFL Seekers podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a full 7 round mock draft for the entire NFC North. Some really high capital picks, including the first overall pick. So, really excited to get into it. A lot of picks to go over, so we'll get right into it. But uh, had a pretty good weekend over here. Was at UFC 300. It was absolutely electric. You guys are definitely going to have to bear with me because I was screaming my lungs out and I definitely lost my voice a little bit. My voice is a little shot, so my voice might crack here and there today. It might go out. But yeah, super fun weekend. I won some bets, so I'm feeling pretty good going into the draft week. I think it's what, one or it's like 10 days till the draft. So really close, really close. But how are you, Josh?
I'm doing really good. It feels like it's been really calm and there hasn't been a lot going on. It kind of feels like the calm before the storm. I think officially, are we now in the single digits of days? Or wait, or 10 days, 10 days, almost
Yeah,
to single
so we're
digits tomorrow.
recording this at like midnight. That's why we're confused. But yeah, technically 9 days when this releases, which is just crazy.
Yes, 9 days till the NFL draft. And it's just kind of it's that like calm before the storm. Like I think once we hit that week mark, we might be seeing some trades. It's just I feel like we're going to get a lot of crazy news. A lot of smoke is going to happen a few days before the draft. So again, it's going to be full go, but it's kind of that like calm. There hasn't been much NFL news. There hasn't been a lot going on. But there is the new the third helmet color rule, which is kind of cool.
Hey, that's fun. I'm sure some teams will kind of abuse that and put out some pretty ugly, ugly helmets and unis. But I'm sure some teams will take advantage of it. Like the Eagles, they'll have some sick helmets, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like the Eagles and their Kelly Green stuff is insane. They'll come out with something sick. But yeah. Anyways, let's get on into it. We got some picks to do. NFC North time, baby. First pick. Should we get into it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the hard task of picking for the Chicago Bears at one. What quarterback are you thinking of here?
Considering we have Tyson Bagent, QB1, Brett Rippon, QB2. I think we need to go ahead and select Mr. Caleb Williams, the blue chip prospect, one of the most polarizing college football players we've ever seen. And this is just at this point, we don't need to talk about it. It's Caleb Williams has been locked into the Bears for a long time, and we just have to wait till that number one pick's over with.
I love it. You get the best quarterback in the class by far, absolutely generational. The things he does, buying time with his legs, he's going to be really fun for you Bears fans. You guys are going to be screaming Caleb's name every week. It's going to be really fun for you guys to build around him. Excited to build around Caleb with our few picks in this draft. I guess now that we have the quarterback taken care of, we can kind of talk about the rest of the needs on this team and reviewing the roster. It's pretty solid, man. Ryan Poles has done a really good job. They bring in Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton to compete at the center spot, and the rest of their offensive line is completely filled out. So their offensive line, I would say, is really solid. They could bring in a interior offensive lineman at some point, but do any other needs really stand out to you?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this team is pretty filled out from head to toe on the roster. Ryan Poles done an absolutely brilliant job, but there is one need that I am looking at, and it is going to be edge to pair on the other side of Montez Sweat.
Had to switch simulators here because PFF literally decided to crash as we started recording the podcast. So we're over here on a new simulator, but I'm going to continue your discussion, piggyback right off of it. Edge rusher, it kind of feels perfect at 9. You get, the generational blue chip number one quarterback in the class. You with one, and then you go over at 9 and you get the first defensive player off the board in this scenario. Your favorite defensive player, you can go your favorite edge, and I think the discussion is just out Dallas Turner, Latu or Verse. That's a really hard one. Turner definitely could go to the Falcons. Latu feels like a bear. It feels like a perfect fun complement across from Montez Sweat. You get two Cali boys in that top 10 to bring over to Chicago. I do think that would be really fun. I personally have Latu as the number one edge rusher in this class, but Turner is on the board if you want to go that way.
I'm right there with you. Laiatu Latu is just a damn near perfect prospect when it comes to smart, football IQ, toughness, and the best pass rushing moves and set in the entire draft class. And you pair him on the other side of Montez Sweat, and you got a lockdown duo for the foreseeable future. And it's a no-brainer. I think we got to lock this one in.
All right, let's do it. We'll go Caleb Williams and Latu, two top 10 picks. Absolutely love it. I think Latu is totally worthy of being that 9 overall selection. He's just so polished, so damn good as a pass rusher, such a high floor. He could really be that TJ Watt impact for you day one. So I really love that. Moving on to round 3 for the Bears. No round 2 pick because of that Montez Sweat trade. What other needs stick out? I think defensive interior is like a really big need, maybe a little bit underrated of a need. I don't think Dexter was, the best in his rookie season. He might be getting a little bit more credit than he deserves. Andrew Billings, you could definitely upgrade in the nose. So I do think defensive interior is honestly like essential here.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think we need to attack, after we get Caleb Williams, we need to attack the whole defensive line front. Let's see who's best available on this one.
Risk is available, but I don't think he'd be there in round 3, if we're being honest.
I do not think. I mean, we could honestly, because I mean, obviously, this is going to be a little changed up from different rankings and stuff. And who knows? Everyone's rankings are different. The draft could fall in a number of different ways. So that's what's going to be kind of fun about switching up the simulator because we had to. But also, if we really wanted to as well, in this round, we could go and look at linebacker. I think we could upgrade over Sanborn, pretty easy. I mean,
I
but
love Cedric Gray. I love Cedric Gray. Do you want to just go him here and then go defensive interior?
yeah, Cedric Gray, an absolute coverage linebacker. He's one of the best coverage linebackers in the entire draft class. That's an immediate upgrade. You pair him with TJ Edwards and Tremaine, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, and you got yourself, a really good linebacking trio.
Yeah, he'll compete with Jack Sanborn day one, and he does have upside with those coverage chops. He's just really solid, really smart player out of North Carolina. So I love that. And then I think we attack our last need with our last pick being defensive interior. And I think we slammed this one out of the park. I really do think Cedric Gray just fits as a bear, and it feels right, feels like a bear. And Mekhi Wingo is on the board. I'm definitely leaning that way. I feel like that's a steal here, but that's up to you.
Yeah, him or Tyler Davis. Maybe Tyler Davis maybe fits a little bit what Jervon Dexter does as more of a run defender. Mekhi Wingo kind of gives you that versatility of run and pass. More of a jack of all trades on the line. So yeah, Mekhi Wingo. Let's lock him in here. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I think that's really fun. And I think, a short but sweet draft. I think we just cooked and we gave Caleb Williams a pretty good situation to evaluate him and his rookie season. And I'm just gonna say it here, Bears fans, we shorted you with this mock because you don't have many picks, but I'm confident you guys are gonna be a playoff team, man. So stay tuned to the NFL Seekers all off season because I'm gonna be hyping you guys up. You guys are definitely one of my teams. I'm just really confident that in the NFC that Caleb can really transcend things around him the way that Eberflus was coaching this team. Bring in 3 really solid defensive players with Caleb Williams. You get Caleb at 1, you get Latu at 9, 2 top 10 picks. Bring him over from Cali, blue chip prospects to me personally. And then you get Cedric Gray at 75 and Mekhi Wingo to really compete and rotate in that defense with Eberflus. I absolutely love that draft, man.
Just a discussion too, just to throw it out there. And yeah, I love this draft. And Bears fans, don't be sad about the draft because you got a good football team, man. You got a really good football team. You got a lot of good football players. But there's a discussion we could throw out there too. Is you could trade down from 9 and collect more draft capital. Do you think they ultimately could do that, or do you think they stick and pick?
I think they definitely could. If they aren't really targeting an edge like we have them doing and they're targeting Byron Murphy or Johnny Newton, I think trading down to the Broncos, someone like that, Raiders would be brilliant. I think that definitely is a possibility, especially with them only having 4 picks. In this scenario, we weren't really tripping about trading just because there aren't many needs. I would say there's like 2, 3 needs on this team, and actually there's 4, and I think we knocked all 4 of them out, honestly. So yeah, I really like that draft, but trade down could definitely be on the radar.
Yeah, it could be something interesting come draft night. I don't think it would happen until draft night, depending on how the quarterbacks fall on the board. Then you have, needy quarterback teams like the Broncos, like the Raiders, like the Vikings, who are all going to try and jump each other. So it could be an intriguing spot for a trade down scenario.
All right, and going to the Vikings, who pick at 11 and 23. Without the PFF mock draft simulator, it's a little bit hard to trade and go up and trade for that quarterback. So I think in this scenario, we're just gonna stick and pick at both first round picks if that's okay with you. Unless you want to try to finagle our way into getting a trade, but it might be too much work.
Well, who do we have on the board?
Like, do you
Yep.
want to go like corner or defense at 11 and then try to get Penix or Nix at 23? Do you want to go that vision?
Let me just throw this out here for you, Dan. I don't mind Penix here at 11. I think in a weird world, you know, I mean, I think most of us think the Vikings are going to trade up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like a prospect like Penix, who's just very on time, very accurate, super smart football IQ. I feel like he could go in with Kevin O'Connell and actually be a really good quarterback. But I mean, we ultimately feel like that's why they traded up or got traded up in for the 23rd pick, was to get, a quarterback. Do you want to try and do it, or would you want to try and go one of these guys? I don't feel like there's a scenario where they possibly don't go quarterback, with their first overall picks. I don't think you can really go in with Sam Darnold. I don't have that Baker Mayfield type of, enthusiasm for him.
No, I agree 100%. I'm 100% down to take Penix or Nix, either one. It's just we could probably get him at 23, especially in this mock. So do you want to wait till then, or do you want to just take him right now?
Oh, this is tough. Do you think we could try to trade? Do you want to try and do that? Because I kind of want to trade up. I really think that's what they kind of are doing. I wonder if you like restart it and then do a like before you press start, see if we can trade up for them. Because I don't know. I think they're gonna sneak their way up into the top five. I really do. Yeah.
All right, well, let's try to go up with the Cardinals because I do feel like the Cardinals would be the team to kind of move around. So we'll give up those first two first round picks and we'll go up to four and we'll try to go get our boy. We'll go try to get the quarterback. What quarterback are you eyeing then here at four?
I think it's between, in my opinion, I think Drake May or JJ McCarthy, to be honest with you. I think the Josh McCown, Drake May things, and there's a lot of talk of Drake May not going, and there he is, right there at number two available on the board. He's got a lot of deep roots with Josh McCown, but I also feel like JJ McCarthy might just be the perfect prospect for Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, Drake May is obviously the dream. He has all the connections with McCown dating back to high school, and it's the perfect fit with
I think
KOC.
he'll
But
go too. I think
we
he'll go
think
too.
we both think he's going to be a commander, so we're going to go with JJ McCarthy because it makes the most sense for the Vikings. We really do think that the Commanders are going to give in and take the best quarterback available in Drake May. So we'll settle with JJ McCarthy. Just an absolute molding ball of clay that I think Kevin O'Connell would really like to work with, and I'm pretty confident he would be a good quarterback in this situation. He thrives in third downs, fourth downs when they need him most. He comes through, and I'm confident he's going to really develop and be awesome in that offense, especially.
Teams love JJ McCarthy, man. He is just his testing, everything he's done so far. This process has just really risen his draft stock, and they're a damn near perfect team for JJ McCarthy. I think Kevin O'Connell fits the style of play that JJ McCarthy would play so well. They're not going to ask him to do too much, but he can really deliver in those big downs. I mean, as he had more almost big time throws on third and fourth downs than any other quarterback in the country. And I like trading up with the Cardinals right there. Monty Austin Fort's going to be open for business. He's told everyone that we're going to have a big neon sign. It's not going to be blinking because that hurts our eyes, but it's going to be open for trades.
Absolutely love it. I think it's the perfect fit. And then moving on to the Vikings' next pick, I think we need to attack defense, man. Defensive interior could be a big need. We do have Jerry Tillery starting alongside the old Harrison Phillips, so that is a problem. I think we might just need to attack that right now. But corner is also a pretty big need.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go into this season with Jerry Tillery starting, and Harrison Phillips is like 31 years old. So yeah, we need to attack that right now. I do like our edge rusher and Jonathan Grenard, who we got on that defensive line. So we do got one good piece there, but yeah, I think we got to attack the interior of that defense right away.
All right. So looking at the best interior defensive lineman available as our pick approaches here. Both those LSU defensive linemen definitely sound good. Tyler Davis would actually be really nice, though, to get that really good run stuffing defensive lineman. Ever since you lost Kyrus Tonga, you don't really have that run stuffing specialist. So do you just want to go Tyler Davis here?
Yeah, Tyler Davis, you play him in the one technique, he's going to eat up those double teams all day long for you. And that's really what you're missing in that defensive line. I mean, Jerry Tillery is not a run defender. He is, yeah, I mean, you really just can't take the guy seriously. You need to get him, on just pass rushing down specifically. But yeah, Tyler Davis would be a great fit.
Yeah, you get a really solid defensive tier, honestly, to start day one, and then you can move Tillery back to be that rotational, pass rusher type on third downs. And then next pick, I think corner is definitely something we need to kind of attack as well. A Caleb Evans and Josh Metellus starting right now. Metellus in the nickel. I do think getting an outside corner would be pretty beneficial, just because Andrew Booth, Andrew Booth, man, a miss. Let's just say he was a miss. So any of these corners really stand out to you for Flores?
Yes, Cam Hart and Jarvis Brownlee right here are my two highest graded guys on the board. I mean, both physical corners. Cam Hart maybe a little bit more of a, of a press corner, get in your face stuff. You got a really big physical guy. And then you got Jarvis Brownlee right there, who's just a playmaker, man. He's a playmaker. You put him in that defense, he finds himself around the ball. We had a player comp of him of L'Jarius Sneed, which just fits him perfectly. But I'm kind of between those two. Those are kind of the two I am eyeing right here. It's just what fits your fancy a little bit more.
Let's go Cam Hart then, because he embodies the Brian Flores style. He's big, physical. He can start on the outside. He's really fluid in coverage as well. He's sticky in coverage for how tall he is, and he's a perfect complement to Byron Murphy. And you can still keep Metellus in the slot. So I really like going Cam Hart. I think corner is a pretty big need. I could see him going corner round one. Feels like Quinion would be a really fun pairing with Byron Murphy as well. But moving on to the next needs, I think interior offensive line definitely could be something we look at. Blake Brendel, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram on that interior isn't, the prettiest. You have bookend great tackles, but definitely could look to upgrade on the interior. Maybe a Zach Center type of player would be nice here. Let's see if he's available. Zach Center's available if you want to just get him, and he can maybe push to start day one.
In a Kevin O'Connell offense, man, they could just really utilize this guy. Super fun. I mean, they could move him. He's a really good pulling guard. He could probably slot into center eventually if you ever wanted him there too. But like I've said, I've preached this guy's name. If it wasn't for an injury, this guy may have been a day one or day two type of pick. But in this scenario, he falls here, and not a it could be a better team for him to go and succeed at,
Yeah, well,
and to match him up with JJ again.
oh, look at you putting that together. You get two Michigan guys and they're two national champions. You're going to help JJ's development. Absolutely love it. Honestly, probably one of your best three interior offensive linemen day one. So I love that pick. I think we could honestly look to get him a fun weapon, maybe a receiver. Cornelius Johnson. Do you want to? That's a little bit too perfect. A big bodied receiver. You can move Jettas and
Ooh.
Addison around. That's kind of insane.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, and just the Michigan connections there too. And yeah, he slots in that wide receiver room just damn near perfect. And the chemistry's already there with JJ. Get JJ as guy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's build a Michigan team here, man. Come on.
We don't even need to talk about it. That's way too perfect. Perfect Osborne replacement as well. Like that can't even be overstated. You get JJ McCarthy, Zach Zinter, and Cornelius. That's a pretty fun haul for the Vikings offense. With the rest of the picks, I think we definitely can attack just defense. We've done enough really flashing up our offense. It's really flashy, a lot of young, hot toys. So I guess we can spam corner, secondary. Probably corner, maybe to get someone to compete in the nickel.
Yeah, I don't think Jarvis Brown is going to be here in the fifth. In the
No,
fifth round. I think that's
definitely.
a little too rich. Right
Miles
there.
Hardin
Yeah, Miles
or
Hardin from South Dakota State. He
or
could be.
DeCamerion Richardson. He's nice. I don't know if you've gone to him yet, but he's actually really solid.
I've not done any scouting on him. I will trust your word on him. Yeah, either one. We got to get depth at corner. We got to get players, even if they're just special teams contributors, but guys who can rotate in and out of the lineup. Um, I'll let you pick between these two.
It's a tough one, but I am gonna go Richardson. I have him a little bit higher. I think Harden would be really fun too. They're both versatile, but I think Richardson has like the potential to be a outside starting corner pretty soon. So I think that's also good value. I could see him going higher than that. So we'll go with Richardson, and then I believe we have 2 picks left. So I think we eye safety, and then I think we both want to get a kicker. I don't really think that we want to start Parker John Romo at kicker. So let's
No.
let's go and get a kicker with our last pick after we go safety. Do you want to go Ed Reed's cousin or Ed Reed's nephew? Sorry.
Oh, is he gone?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he would have been a fun pick there. He would have been a really fun pick. I guess let's see who's left on the board here.
Brian Flores guy for sure. But yeah, I was gonna I was gonna go the Washington safety. They're all flying off the board here.
So it's a round of safeties here. Who do we got?
I
Let's
am
see.
eyeing Anthony from Ole Miss though. If he's on the board, I'm just gonna snag him because he's really solid. And he is. Do you want to just go Dejon Anthony from Ole Miss? He's really solid
Let's
all
let's
around.
go Dejon Anthony, and another special teams contributor, maybe has the chance to fight for a second string spot and get rotational snaps. But kicker, baby, let's go special teams. We need to get what's his name, John Romo.
Is Harrison Mevis still there? Yeah, we got to
John
replace
Parker.
John Parker Romo. So let's
John
go Harrison
Parker.
Mevis. I really like him.
Yeah, Harrison Mevis for a kicker from Missouri. Let's lock that in. You got to throw your dart. You got to throw your dart. I'm not sure who John Parker Romo is, but I'm not trusting him.
Electric draft for the Vikings. I think we just absolutely cooked. That might be one of my favorite that we've done in this whole series. That's really exciting. I think Vikings fans would be really excited if they got that haul. You get the Michigan Vikings, you get the Minnesota Wolverines. Super electric. Do you want to read that recap off?
Yeah, so we trade up. We trade our 11th and 23rd. We ultimately get JJ McCarthy, which is kind of the consensus right now, what everyone thinks. I don't know if you go and, trade future picks to address or to capitalize on more in this, or sorry, more picks in this draft. But you ultimately trade up, you go get your quarterback. We're not going into week 1 with Sam Darnold. And then pick 108. So Vikings fan, you're gonna have a long time. It's gonna be pick 4, and then you're gonna be waiting a couple days. And then you ultimately go pick 108, Tyler Davis, the big nose tackle from Clemson. And then you go get a starting outside corner in Cam Hart, an ultra physical guy to pair in that Brian Flores defense. And then get JJ McCarthy, a familiar face, in Zach Zinter, 157. And then Cornelius Johnson at 167. 2 familiar faces right there. A perfect wide receiver to pair into that room with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. And then you get DeCamerion Richardson, corner from Mississippi State, a Dan guy right there with the potential outside starting. Probably going to be more of a special teams contributor with Dejon Anthony from Ole Miss, a safety, and then Harrison Mevis, kicker from Missouri.
Absolutely electric. That's honestly one of my favorite drafts that we've done. So Vikings fans, definitely comment. Let us know your thoughts. But with that, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. I would say one of the most difficult teams to draft for because they have, reviewing their roster, maybe 3 needs, and they have 72 picks. So we've got a lot to work with. If you want, we could honestly trade up. Like, if you like, I'm going to pause the draft real quick. If you want, we should trade up for like a Marius Mims or someone. We could get a right tackle, maybe swing
Ooh.
Tom to center, bench Josh Myers, like some Packers beat reporters are stating might happen. But that's up to you. We just have so many picks. I'd be fine with it.
I'd be definitely fine to go throw a little capital just because we do have so many later round picks. And to go get up like a prospect like a Marius Mims to pair in that Packers system, that'd be damn near perfect. Let's see what teams could we trade. That would probably be looking to trade down. Seahawks, I could see collecting extra capital. Dolphins could definitely be a team. They don't have many picks.
Yeah,
You want
I
to do?
do think Amarius Mims is someone that could really just be a surprise and go really early on draft night. So someone trading up into the top 17 to draft him really wouldn't be a surprise to me. I'm thinking Seahawks or Jags. Do you want to just do the Jags or Rams, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, every team could benefit from collecting extra capital. Let's go. Let's do Trent Bulky trading down. I can see that for sure. Let's go with the Jags. I want to give 25 for 17. We're probably going to need to give them 88, and then probably on the draft, probably 169. Yeah, I'd probably
And then our
move.
last pick, just to throw it in, or
Yeah, yeah, just to sweeten it up a little bit.
okay. I think that's fair. You're getting Amarius Mims, who, in my opinion, really can. He has the tools. He has every single tool to be one of the best tackles that we've seen. He could be a 10-year All-Pro down the line, and I don't really think anyone would be surprised if he finishes as, a top five player in this class.
Oh, he rejected us.
It
Trent
really
said, "I want more picks.
do
I
they not
want
let you
more
freaking
picks."
at least force a trade? I thought we were overpaying, if I'm being honest, man.
Try 58, maybe, and then 126
126.
and 219. That's surely.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're securing Amaris Mims, baby. That's all I care about.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's just perfect. Like I said, you start Amarius Mims at right tackle can be legendary for you the way that the Packers develop offensive linemen, move Zach Tom anywhere you want because he can be an all pro on the inside. I absolutely love it. Moving on to the Packers round two pick. Any needs really stand out to you? Linebacker could be a need after losing Devontae Campbell, maybe getting someone
100.
to mix into that secondary, but that's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the depth chart right now. We could definitely upgrade over Isaiah McDuffie or Aaron Mosby. Quay Walker, was an early pick. He's not great. I mean, we could really upgrade at all those spots. We might even double dip at linebacker if I'm being honest with you. But who's the best on the board at linebacker? This is definitely our biggest need.
Yeah, we got to get someone to pair with Quay Walker, Edgar and Cooper, Peyton Wilson. I'll let you choose between the two. I think both would be really good to pair with Quay Walker. Both are solid fits. Peyton Wilson honestly might complement Quay Walker a little bit better, but it's up to you.
Peyton Wilson is just fun, man. I think this is really the range where a team would feel safe on drafting him. But I mean, he is just one of the most athletic, freakiest players we've ever seen. His injury history is scary and he's old. But the Packers being a roster this stacked can definitely take the chance on Peyton Wilson because the upside is just too great there. And that is their biggest need. I mean, and this dude really, I mean, he scares me, but if you're looking at his athletic traits and talent, I mean, he's got, traits of Luke Kuechly in him. So that's how good of an athlete he is. He's just got to stay healthy.
Absolutely. I think it's a really fun fit with Quay Walker as well. You plug him in day one to replace Devontae Campbell, and he is super solid. He's a sound linebacker that's really, really athletic. I think he clocked in at like 23 miles per hour in a game last year. So that's pretty crazy as well. Ran a crazy 40-yard dash. So you get another really fun, athletic linebacker to pair with Quay Walker. Going into our next pick, I really think we just need to get someone to fill in secondary, whether it's a safety or corner, just someone to be versatile and fill in case of injury. There were a lot of missed games last year between Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes getting hurt. So I do think safety or corner is a must.
Yeah, I do feel a little bit better about our corners than I do our safeties right here. I mean, I love Xavier McKinney, but we can definitely upgrade over Anthony Johnson Jr. And who's just staring me in the face right there is Jaden Hicks. Um, I know that's one of your favorite players right there. I think this is tremendous value at 88. I'm not sure if he'll be there, but he definitely could. Tyke Smith,
I was
he's
gonna say, do
kind
you
of
want to just
more.
go Tyke because it might be more realistic that he's there?
Yeah, this is probably a little safer range. I don't think Jaden Hicks will honestly. He'll probably be a back end of the second round type
I
of
think he's
guy.
gonna be the first safety to go.
No, there you go. There you go. He's definitely a Dan guy. And I love Tyke Smith. He has,
No,
position flexibility.
I
Wait,
think
what?
Jaden Hicks is gonna be the first safety to go. I think he goes pretty early,
Oh
second
no,
round.
no, yeah, I was agreeing
Oh,
with you. I was just saying I love Tyke Smith, the position versatility. He can slot in at nickel immediately. He can play safety. He's kind of a chess piece for that defense. And I like that. Jaden Hicks isn't my number one safety, but I like you calling your shot right there.
he isn't even my number one safety either, honestly. But Tyler Nubin just tested so terribly, it scares the hell out of me. I don't know if the NFL is gonna love it. But yeah, I think Tyke Smith is perfect because it's really reminiscent of Brian Brantz last year. He's a really solid slot corner in college. He can play safety or slot corner for you, and that's perfect for what the Packers need. They just need maybe one player to rotate into that already solid secondary that team doesn't really have much needs. So let's pick him. And we have a pick just a few picks later. We could double dip at corner, maybe. We could look at like interior offensive line. The Packers love building those interior offensive linemen in the mid rounds. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of want to look just for fun. Let's who's the best interior offensive line at the moment? I think we could definitely, push Sean Ryan for a starting job. Depending who's on. Mason McCormick would be fun. Landon Robertson. Um, Brandon Coleman, Dominic Pooney. Who do you feel like is the most Packers
Mason
guy?
McCormick does feel like a Packer. They love those, those Midwest asshole type of guys.
I don't even mind Bo Limmer, to be honest with you, to kind of be he's pro. What would you think about Bo Limmer as like pretty, I mean, he can play center, he could slot in at guard. You don't have any depth at center at all. To be honest, you don't have one backup center on your roster, and you don't really have any backup guards either. Bo Limmer could do both. And he was a guy that actually has had a pretty good process. There's one clip of him absolutely getting destroyed by Trevon Sweat in a one-on-one rep, which made him kind of look bad, which I hate when they do that. But he was pretty sound at the Senior Bowl. I wouldn't mind Bo Limmer here.
No, I love it. I think I would have gone Christian Mahogany if he was here. Just feels like that Packers developmental huge monster of a man, mid-round offensive lineman that they would take. But Bo Limmer's the next best thing. He's just that asshole, nasty mentality, finish you into the ground. Packers would love him, and he does have that guard flexibility. So I think that's perfect. And then with the next pick, I think we can definitely look at corner.
Yeah, it's definitely looks secondary with our next pick. Address the weakest parts of our roster for sure. Who we got on the board? Who we got? So we're around 5 right now.
It's a little bit
Anyone?
slim pickings. We could look at like running back, maybe to see there's a fun backup running back, but most of them are off the board.
Wow, yeah, the running backs went. They went fast. Um, Isaiah Davis would be kind of interesting to pair with Josh Jacobs. I'll be honest with you. I hate AJ Dillon. And I would love to move off of him. I do not think he's a good football player. I do not think he's a good running back. Isaiah Davis is a big bruising bell cow type of guy from South Dakota State. I wouldn't mind pairing him with Aaron Jones to be that, that 1-2 punch and to move off of AJ Dillon eventually, or he could be just your third guy.
Stores isn't used to Aaron Jones being a Viking now. It's Josh Jacobs, not Aaron
Did I,
Jones.
did I say I said Josh Jacobs first? Did I or did I not?
No, you said Josh Jacobs first, but you just barely said Aaron Jones. It is trippy. It's we've
It's
been so
weird.
used to
It's
Aaron
weird.
Jones for like a decade, so I
Yeah,
understand it. But can I propose to you someone I recently got to? Blake Watson, dude. He's good. Blake Watson is, I think, has the upside to be like a bell cow. He's so shifty inside the tackles. I think he would be a fun change of pace with Josh Jacobs if you want to go running back. But I'm down for Davis or Watson.
I mean, Memphis breeds running backs, brother. I'm not gonna argue on that one, brother.
I know you like I know you like Blake Watson too. You're the one that like got me to watch him. So
Yeah, yeah, no, let's do that. That's another really good compliment too. And I honestly think he'd honestly go over Isaiah Davis too, to be honest with you.
all right, beautiful stuff. And then with the next pick, I know you wanted to look for a backup quarterback because our current backup quarterback is Sean Clifford. So that is fair. I don't mind Austin Reed as our backup quarterback because he's just like a surgical, he just runs those choice offenses, those easy option read offenses really. So he's just a smart surgical quarterback if you want to go him as the backup.
I would love that. I really wanted Joe Milton to the Packers, but he's off the board in this scenario. So Austin Reed's a good second option. But I would really love to see Joe Milton here.
Yeah, we'll get Austin Reed, who spammed screen passes to Malachi Corley every single play. Now he can do the same with Jaden Reed in case Jordan Love gets hurt. So we get some Jordan Love kind of security, some insurance. And then with the next pick, I think we just look at like receiver, corner, those seventh round flyers, those typical seventh round flyers. Anthony Gold would be really fun because he's just a kick returner. He's a hell of a kick returner. I think he was the best one in the country 2 years ago. So we could go Anthony Gold. Let's see what corners are available. I would say let's go Anthony Gold or Quantez Stiggers, who's actually
Hey,
good.
our boy Miles Battle, didn't he test like an incredible RS score? Or did he test really bad? I can't remember.
I genuinely didn't know that Miles Battle was in the draft, man.
No, yeah, he is. They were talking. I was one of my podcasters were talking about. I can't remember. I think he actually had a really good pro day testing. Dan, you're Utah boy. Did you forget
Honestly,
about?
I think he got benched at Utah. I don't think he was that good. He like transferred from Ole Miss because he wasn't starting there. I don't think he was ever that good, to be honest. But I kind of want to go Quantez Stiggers. That's kind of fun because that's just a Packers pick because he's actually really, really solid, has a high floor.
It's from the CFL?
Yeah.
Let's go. That's dope. I didn't know CFL players could declare.
Well, he's the only one because he's like actually kind of insane. Like he's like really, really good. Someone's gonna pick him decently high. I think he's gonna go before round 7 for sure.
That's a dope ass name, Quantez Stickers. Let's freaking
Hey,
spam the card up to the freaking podium right now. Oh my
don't get
god.
too excited about him because the Broncos interviewed and the Broncos are apparently interested. So don't get too excited. He might be a Bronco.
Hey, well, actually, wait. What was the wasn't arena football? What was the football league that we went to? And it was the Salt Lake Stallions.
Oh, the one that the Rock bought originally. It
Yeah.
was it the UFL or something? I think it was the UFL.
Or is that what's the U or wait,
Or
CFL's Canadian Football League, right?
yeah, CFL is Canadian. It was like I don't know, XFL before the XFL. It was something.
Yeah, no, it's dope, but Charger legend came out of that and Donald Parham. So, I'm not mad. Rip to the Salt Lake Stallions. It was a good one game.
Rip to the Salt Lake Stallions. Let's look at receiver for our next pick. We just Anthony Gold's still there. That's perfect. You get a great returner, another gadget player to add to those receivers. I think that's perfect.
With the overtime, or sorry, with the new kick return rules too, it's gonna these players are gonna be very, very valuable. The wide receiver kick returner hybrids.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful draft to me. This is exactly what I would do if I was Gutekunst and the Packers. You have too many picks for having too few of needs. So you trade up and you get Amarius Mims, an absolute monster chiseled by the gods to play offensive lineman, 17 in round 1. And then you get Peyton Wilson at 41 to definitely compete to start at linebacker. You get Tyke Smith to maybe start in the slot, maybe start at safety. He's going to be really versatile for that defense, reminiscent of Brian Branch last year. You get Bo Limmer at 91 to compete in the interior. Blake Watson at 169, really underrated, shifty, back with great acceleration. At 202, you get Austin Reed to be that Jordan Love shoe-in backup quarterback. I really like that. And then at 245, you get Quantez Stiggers, one of the most underrated corners in this draft. And then you ended up with Anthony Gold, electric kick returner in that Jaden Reed mold to kind of, do some fun things in the LaFleur offense. So I really love that draft.
That was we cooked. We cooked. That feels like a Packers draft. We got to get our fair share of Georgia guys in there. They love Georgia. They love drafting the Bulldogs, which is fair because Georgia breeds incredible athletes and just different types of football players.
Very true. So we did a very Gutekunst draft. I love the Vikings and Packers drafts, like two of my favorite drafts that we've done in this series. Maybe we stick to this simulator, but moving on to the Lions, with the last team that we're going to pick for the NFC North. What needs really stick out to you here at 29? It's, we can kind of just draft best available this late into the draft, but I do think defensive interior is a pretty good need, and you see the best player on the board is Johnny Newton. That would be great value and a great shoe-in starter.
Be incredible value. I mean, Johnny Newton here would be awesome. Also, I mean, if I'm just throwing out needs, corner is also a big need. I'm getting another edge rusher on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. But I mean, Johnny Newton there, man, is just fantastic. I think that's too tempting to pass up. If he's there at 29, I think the Lions and I think Dan Campbell is already up on the stage announcing the pick. Let's just say that.
And you did mention corner. I did just want, there are some dang good corners available too. Like I could see, like, call me crazy. I could see Max Melton going in the first round, just tested so well. I could see Max Melton being a Campbell guy. I could kind of just see that. Could go, Darius Robinson. Is Chop Robinson available? Chop Robinson's not available. So I do like the Johnny Newton pick. I guess I'm kind of backing away from it because I forgot that they brought in DJ Reader. Lee McNeil was awesome. So I don't know if he even has a path to start day one, but I don't like the depth at interior at all. So I'm still fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if you're going best player available, he's the best player available on the board. I mean, I don't think you really needed to go to your offensive line. It's pretty solid, but Jackson Powers Johnson would be awesome in that freaking Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson offense. I mean, hell, we could even look wide receiver, if we really want to. I mean, you've got obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Jamison Williams and Khalif Raymond are your 2 and 3. You could really upgrade that position.
I'd be fine going Troy Franklin, just getting that deep threat to complement with Amon-Ra, but I guess he might be redundant with Jamison Williams. So do you want to just stick with Johnny Newton, go best player available since we don't have too many needs?
Well, um, who got arrested again? What was the Cam Sutton? Let's go look at
Oh,
one more time. Cam
right.
Sutton cut, arrested, off the face of the map. Max Melton, like you said, he is just crazy rising up boards. He's an athletic freak. He's got the football history. Do we just go bold and go Max Melton here? That'd be kind of.
We've done a lot of mocks with TJ Tampa, but I'm starting to think maybe Max Melton, the way he tested, would be the one to sneak into the back of the first round. So let's just do it. I think it is. It's a shout.
I
It's a
love him.
possibility.
I love him. I love him. I'll be honest. I think he's worthy of the back end of the first round. The dude's an athletic freak. Maybe his tackling percentage is a little skewed, but it's skewed in the right way because he just throws himself at players. He's overly aggressive, which I love. And you give him to Dan Campbell, those guys to coach up. I think that's the perfect system for him. So let's call our shot, dude. Max Mel in the first round. I absolutely love that.
No, it's really fun. I feel like Max Melton's been a kind of our guy. He's been both of our guy this whole process and really all mock drafts, all our cornerback ranking episode. You were really high on him, so I really do like that. And a really good interior defensive lineman does fall to us in round two, and Leonard Taylor. Braden Fisk is there as well. That would be really fun.
Chris Jenkins. Oof.
Ooh, Chris Jenkins, keep him in state. You might have just sold me. I didn't even see him.
The mutant going to work out with Dan Campbell every day. I think we just got to lock it in, man. I think we just got to lock that in. That's too perfect.
We could go Dorless too because he has the flexibility to go at edge. I'm down to Chris
Ooh,
Jenkins at Dorless.
I didn't even think about Dorless here because he could. He's kind of that tweener. He's kind of that like he's like he's just a tweener. He's just a tweener. Maybe I like Chris Jenkins because he's just really you know what you're getting out of him. But again, oh, we could. I mean, a bigger knee. Who is just the best edge rushers available in
The
true
best
edge?
pure edge rusher would be Nealand right now. Jonah Ellis could be. Oh, Jonah Ellis is kind of such a lion, such a Dan Campbell player. I could see that as well.
And at 61 is probably perfect for his range. He's ranked really low on this. Yeah, I think I like Jonah Ellis. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I like that the most. I think that's a perfect fit. Pair him on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Jonah Ellis, another technical freak. He's got, the whole pass rushing repertoire, football family. Ooh, I really like Jonah Ellis. I think that's my favorite pick.
We've got a pick in 10 picks. Do you want to be ballsy and sweat this out here and take Chris Jenkins and hope Jonah Ellis falls with us?
I mean, we definitely can. He's gonna fall because he's like 129 on this board. Uh,
Let's finesse the
I,
system. Let's keep Chris Jenkins in state because that was kind of too fun of a fit, and then let's go snag Jonah Ellis, the embodies
yeah.
the Dan Campbell system.
Yeah, and he's not going that late. I mean, third round would be I mean, late second, early third is very realistic, or middle third. I mean, you never know. I mean, the draft is the draft, man. Players are always falling, and I mean, he's not an athletic freak by any means, but I mean, I guess he just had the best like three cone ever, at his pro day. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
I think he literally had the best three cone for an edge rusher ever. It is pro day
Yeah, I
numbers,
said
which is
he's not an
always
athletic freak, but he just had the best three cone ever. So just disregard what I just said.
that's the thing. Like I thought he wasn't an athletic freak, and I was low on him coming into this, and then I really got to his film like a week or so ago when we did our edge rusher rankings, and I was incredibly impressed with his athleticism. I think he would have tested really well in the combine. So I am just higher on him. I think he goes, set round two at the very worst, early round three like this. So I like it.
Yeah, he's a technician, man. Plug him in. That's damn good. This is a really good start for the Lions. You may think we overdrafted Max Mellon. I promise you, he's going to go a lot higher than you think. He's just an absolute freak at corner. But what are we looking at now? What are we
I
thinking?
kind of like receiver because we haven't taken a receiver yet. And I do want to, we have Khalif Raymond as wide receiver two right now. Jamison Williams is someone I've never really been the highest on.
I really like Anaya Smith from Texas A&M. If you've watched him, he's a scorcher, man. I feel like he'd be a really good 1-2 piece, and I think he'd walk into that room day one and push Jamison Williams and Khalif Raymond for that second spot.
Yeah. I agree. I was gonna say Coker, but they're both smaller type receivers. Anaya Smith is super solid. He could definitely push to start day one. If not, he'll be a really good rotational guy. So I do like that. He's a really fun gadget guy that would really fit in that offense. Him and Gibbs are like
Oh,
clones.
yeah, no, Ben Johnson. You pair him with Ben Johnson, he's gonna have the whole playbook to play around with him. That's gonna be awesome.
All right. And then with the next pick, I do want to look at offensive line for sure. Let's definitely grab one interior offensive lineman because they had a lot of injuries in that interior offensive line, and you did bring in Kevin Zeitler, but he's a little bit on the older side. So let's definitely just get the best interior offensive lineman on the board. I'll let you choose between Drake Nugent, CJ Hansen would be really awesome. I think in
That's like
between one of those two.
Keaton Bill.
Is he in the draft? Yeah, he is, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, he is. He's actually at the combine around like a 5'4". Now he's like 28 years old.
Yeah.
Um,
We were in high school with him like 10 years ago, and he's still in college.
he was, let's just say he was a senior when we were freshmen.
And he's still in college, and that was a while ago.
Yeah. Let's just say we're turning 25 this year. Does that make him 4 years older than us?
And he's just graduating. So that is pretty crazy. But I like going Drake Nugent here, keeping him in state if you want to go that way.
Oh, yes, that's perfect. The Michigan type of players, they're built different in Michigan, man. They're mean, they're nitty, they're gritty. You get a Harbaugh guy to go to Dan Campbell. It's just, they're just mean guys. They're offensive line guys. They value offensive line. They build them the correct way. And the Lions know that.
And then moving on to round six, our safety room right now is Melifonwu, Kirby Joseph, and Brandon Joseph. So I definitely do want to look to add at least one, if not two. So who's the first one that you want to add? Any of these safeties really stand out to you?
Well,
Vaki, I
Sione
don't.
Baki's not going to be on the board, but he would be awesome. What about Dominic Hampton from Washington? Another, a guy who had a fantastic season, comes from a really, really good program. I think could definitely be a special teams contributor. He'll start special teams day one. He flies down the field, but a guy who could definitely push for a starting spot eventually in his career.
Yep, no qualms with that. I actually really like him as well. Really good rotational backup day one for that team. That's a great pick for the Lions. And then last pick, we can just go best player available, really. Does anything stand out to you? We already have our backup quarterback taken care of with Hendon Hooker. Maybe we could go Ryan Watson, double dip at safety. Um,
Who's backup tight end
we
behind
got a few backup tight ends
uh,
with
Brock
Brock
Wright?
Wright and
Yeah.
James Mitchell.
Yeah, no, they're doing good there. Who's the we're good on running back too. I mean, we could upgrade over Craig Reynolds and Zovia Knight.
Let's
If we
go
really,
edge.
yeah. Oh, I don't think Nelson Caesar will be there to be honest with you. I think he'll be like a more of like a fourth round guy. Um, do you want to look? Sorry, do you want to look back at safety again? Double dip at safety.
Javante Juan Baptiste. Is he in this draft? Because he was pretty solid when he played Ohio State. Um, Safety, let's look. I'd be fine with any of them. We could go one of the TCU guys. I like Ryan Watts as a dart throw. Tyler Owens is a crazy athlete if you want to just go him.
Really do like Tyler Owens. Maybe we go on the TCU guys. So maybe we go Perry as another guy who could, push for a starting role eventually, but just immediately contributes on special teams. As a gunner probably from day one.
All right, beautiful stuff. We'll double dip at safety then to finish out the draft, and it's a pretty fun draft. You want to read that one out?
Yeah, so going number 29, me and Dan calling our shot right now on a my guy throughout the entire draft process. Max Melton, cornerback from Rutgers, and then getting the mutant from an in-state guy from Michigan, Chris Jenkins, beautiful pick. And then double dipping on the defensive line and going Jonah Ellis, edge from Utah. And then at 164, getting Anaya Smith, a guy who I think would start day one and be the two to Amon-Ra St. Brown. 201 getting Drake Nugent, another in-state guy from Michigan. 205 and 249 going back-to-back safeties with Dominique Hampton and Mark Perry from TCU.
absolutely beautiful. I feel like we were surgical, man, and these specifically in these NFC North mocks, we might have to stick with this simulator because we were pretty surgical with these picks. We had all the needs. Personally, I think we had the needs prioritized correctly. So yeah, really fun going over all these NFC North drafts. Definitely stay tuned because we have two more of these left. All we have is the AFC and NFC South. So we've been grinding through this series. Definitely check out your favorite team series if you haven't already. And then next week is draft week. We're gonna have, our final quarterback ranking episode, our sleepers of the draft episode, and then our final NFL mock draft. So it's gonna be really, really fun, jam-packed next week or so before the draft. And stay tuned to the NFL Secrets podcast. Definitely comment your thoughts and like, subscribe, help us grow, help the algorithm. Thanks for joining, Josh. How are you? Anything else?
Dude, yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's like midnight. I think we're losing our minds. We cooked, man. That's why I'm throwing up the cooking emojis on the thing. So, I'm doing good. Like Dan said, we're tired. We need to get out of here. You better like, share, and subscribe because we do this for you. Peace.
Yeah, late night pod. I said, "How are you?" instead of anything else. So thanks for tuning in to the late night Seekers pod. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.